God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Live from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight for race number 10 of the season, the QSR Chase for the Cup is live and ready to go. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Alec Martinez. Alec, we had a little hiccup there to start this race, but we just talked about the Indy 500 recently being ran. Now we're getting set to grid here tonight for the season. A great product that they've put out all season long. And here tonight, Jesse Gordon's going to start on the pole.
Yes, he is. And, well, heck, we're not even green. We're about to go green here from Indy, and I cannot wait to see these guys be able to tackle this racetrack with such high horsepower and cars that are skewed out. But Jesse Gordon on the pole, Jeremy Burns to his outside. I think we're going to be in for a show, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up for 60 laps of racing around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're underway.
By the lead lap number 1, it's going to be Jeremy Burns in the number 97. And as you see, they all single file out, but not too much of a change here in the top 10. You got some guys that are up 1, down 1, but all the way back to 10th spot, it's just Chris Nail, Quentin Stewart going side by side back here. Nail to the inside into turn 1.
It's odd to see the outside lane really working as much as it has so far. We know Indianapolis is usually a one-lane racetrack when we come here. We might get a lane and a half to get out of clean air or get out of dirty air, but this track's particularly one of the hardest tracks to pass at because of how fast it is, how flat the corners are. Passing is going to be hard as we go later into these runs. Track position is going to be king, and that's going to be something we're going to have to watch out for as we go out throughout this day. And I tell you, we can say our picks, but I think Molden, for me personally, I think Daniel Molden's this race kind of fits into his wheelhouse. So that slow car there, I'm not sure who that is. I think it's Brett Allen, the 13. He's slow on the racetrack, getting back. Go ahead and use the access road there off of turn number 4, and still doesn't look like he's up to speed.
Yeah, I think he actually started from the pits. I don't have any pop-up information, but Jeremy Burns has led 2 of these 3 laps that we've started. Car in the wall there briefly, trying to keep pace with him. Jesse Gordon in that dirty air coming out of turn 2. He tags the wall into the backstretch.
I think Gordon, who started on the pole, starting to realize that, I got to get that cleaner wear from the 97. And I think it's my personal first time I've seen Jesse Gordon on the racetrack. Impressive to start on the pole here. Unfortunately, he was not able to get going on the cold tires at the start, let Burns get around him. And right now, he was hoping to be in Burns' spot, being in that clean air. But right now, he's just struggling a little bit, getting by here. We know, like I said, it's hard to pass.
Very difficult to pass as we go into turns 3 and 4. And just recently being at this racetrack, seeing how big this facility is, watching those Indy cars go around this place, very difficult. This is actually down the backstretch, so it's 1 and 2, but when you watch these guys, I walk this entire backstretch. Watch these guys go down. It takes them about 17 to 18 seconds to hit this thing, and they're already into turn 3. It takes you a solid half hour to walk the whole thing on foot.
Yeah, it takes a long time to really get down there. And right now I'm noticing, and these cars, obviously not Indy cars, are not going 220 miles an hour down the straightaway, but they're getting close to 200 right now. The 10 at Gordon in the draft of the 97 at Burns, going to hit about 195 at the line. He's going to hit 202 miles an hour going into turn 1. So they're hauling around this place, a lot of speed, and we know tires are going to wear out here. We've seen tire failures in real life here. Obviously, everybody knows the catastrophe of 2008, but I think right now it seems like Gordon has a little more speed than Burns. Right there, Burns slips up, slips back in. Here comes Gordon to the inside.
Gordon has the run down the back stretch. He's going to take it to the inside into turn 1. Looks like a clean pass here for the lead on lap number 5.
Well, Burns fighting back on the inside. You can see Gordon losing the side force. On the outside. Oh, I think Burns got the wall on the edge of the corner, and I think Gordon's going to get it. Oh, Burns going to have a big run down the back, or down the front stretch here. These cars push a massive hole in the air, but you can see Burns in the draft. Gordon not willing to shake it yet, but I think Burns is going to have to tuck in behind, and then Wilkin slowly but surely catching. Molnex is about 2 seconds back of this, and then battle for 6th on the racetrack. Joyner getting by Costner.
So the Tide 00 is going to clear for the 6th spot. He has John T. Fike in front of him for the top 5. Biggest mover of the race right now, Wyatt Walker. He is up 5 positions. He started back in 18th, all the way up to 13th now as we go down the backstretch.
Down the backstretch, Justin Ritchie on the inside of Kyle Stewart in the 14. I think Stewart got by Mullen. Ritchie's got by Sayer in the 42, and now Ritchie starting to make a little pace there. Kind of, I can't believe I'm saying this in Indianapolis, but searching around for grip in that, like, I guess middle lane, second lane, really. He's getting a run here on Stewart down the front stretch. A lot of these guys have names that have always been successful in Indianapolis. Gordon in the lead, if you remember, 30-year anniversary soon.
Kyle Stewart touched the wall.
Look at 25, man. He's way up the racetrack. That is the highest I think I've ever seen anybody go up in Indianapolis.
It worked for him. I think he was trying to avoid the 14. Stewart had actually brushed the wall just before the entry of turn 1. That kind of changed the line of Justin Ritchie. And get back up front here into the top 5. They've spread out quite considerably.
Yeah, in Indianapolis, this track, you're going to get spread out as the run goes. And I guess we got a thing down the front stretch. Just while we're seeing guys kind of hit the wall, look at how much the rear ends are like skewed out to the right. The right rear quarter panel is really skewed out, where the left front is more facing towards the inside wall. And when you see guys kind of arc it there, you're inches away from touching that left or right rear quarter panel on the outside wall. And if you do that, like we saw there with Kevin Stewart or Kyle Stewart in the 14, you get sucked into the wall.
The pass going on back here for the 18th position. That's the 83 of Steve McGough. He's going to get around Aaron Sayre? Sayre?
Sayer? Is it Sayer?
Is it Sayer? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to ask him here after this race. But 42 falling back to 19. Ethan Wisnowski, Talladega winner of last week, is not having the night he's probably won. He's stuck in 20th. Mike Petrin, the 60, 21st. Bryson Witherspoon, 22, 23rd. And then Frank Welsh, 24th. Brett Allen, 6 laps down still in pit road. So long way to go here in this race. But surprisingly, these laps have kind of clicked off quick. And I think it's just due to how fast these cars are around this racetrack.
Just want to get a quick shot of the Terry Labonte machine. I'm going to show my bias here down the front stretch. Very big fan of the 5 car.
Texas Terry?
Texas Terry. Gotta love
Texas
it.
Terry. Oh, big moment there out of the back. That was 29 Johnson getting loose there. That's outside the top 20. Those guys battling, sliding around as the 29 of Spencer Johnson. That's a good Tasmanian Devil throwback. Kevin Hart, one of the guys who won here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway when it was the Brickyard 400. And speaking of the leader, Jesse Gordon. That's definitely a name that's always been successful at Indianapolis with 4 wins.
Won the inaugural race, I believe.
Yeah, 1994. We're coming up on the 30th year anniversary this year.
So there you have it. The Brickyard has seen a lot of historic events, and you know, the Brickyard 400. I can go back and think. Well, I can think about all the moments in NASCAR that I remember. But Barry Luce off of 2. That's going to open up the door for Burns.
And speaking of moments, there's a moment out of Gordon there. Now here comes Burns to the outside, but Gordon going to be in a unique aero position on the inside, having Burns taps the wall on the entry of the corner, and he throws him wide. But amazing that he's able to stick so close. But here comes the 12 a Wilkin who's been lurking in the shadows of these two cars.
The Altel 12 machine, driven by Ryan Newman back in the day, slowly works his way towards Jeremy Burns and Jesse Gordon. It's less than half a second now.
Almost had an incident off of turn 4 between Galen Wunsch, Quentin Stewart, Chris Nail. They're all battling inside, just inside the top 10, from 8th all the way back to 13th, stacked on top of each other. And those guys almost beating and banging in the short shoot, north short shoot here, as Nail did the inside of Wunsch, and now Wunsch slides up the track. Stewart able to clear both of them, but now Wunsch on the outside in that singular wireless connect car, pulling away down the back stretch. Then there's the 20 of Nail, then Orlando behind with Terciano, Walker, and then Floyd about a half a second back from those guys.
Racing between 8th and about 13th right now. Wyatt Walker at the tail end of this.
We're about to have Floyd, I think, get there as well. Dakota Floyd, pretty good lap time, was about a half a second faster than those guys ahead of him. Actually was the fastest car on the racetrack that last lap.
That's a second group with Derek McMurtry in 15th. He blinks out there just momentarily. Kyle Stewart just behind him. Having some connection issues with the 48.
Battle for the lead again. Gordon struggling with rear grip, and here comes Burns back to the inside. This time he's going to be in the preferred lane to get the spot in the 3. Is Gordon going to be willing to relinquish the spot? I think he will, and there goes Burns, but Gordon using the outside lane. I don't think there's any grip up there. He almost touches the wall, and here comes Wilkin now to pounce. Wilkin goes to the inside in turn number 4, and while this is going on, Daniel Molnex is starting to reel these boys in. And Molnex sitting about, I don't know, second behind. The top 3 is then another second to the 09 of Fike and Joyner, but the top 3 on top of each other. The 4th place all by himself, and then 5th, 6th, 7th all together. And this top 10 only separated by 5 seconds. Top 4 separated by 1 second. And I'll tell you what, the guys from 5th on back, they're starting to close on these top 3, although Burns starting to get a gap on Gordon, and here comes Wilkin to the inside of Gordon. Connection issue there for Wilkin, but he's there. Gordon not going to be able to hold him off here on the outside. No grip up there, but this time off of turn 4, he's going to power back around him, and I don't think I've ever seen Indianapolis be this wide where he's able to hold him off no problem.
Yeah, that high line is kind of peculiar. I haven't seen anybody drive that late apex quite like that, but the 10 car Jesse Gordon seems to be making it work. Just
I can tell you this, they weren't doing that on Sunday in Indianapolis in the Indy cars. They weren't even willing to go up there unless they were making a daring pass on the final lap. But look at it. I think maybe the off throttle time allows there to be more momentum, although they're right there, not able to get to the power like the 12 of Wilkin was. And Wilkin down on the inside into turn number 3 as Burns has pulled 7/10 of a second over the top 2 as Wilkin dives back to the inside, and this time he'll clear Gordon into the south short chute, and now here comes Molnex in the 2, reeling those guys in, and soon looks like it's going to be 1 Ford and 2 Dodges closing up as well.
You got to always look out for Daniel Molnex here. He's one of those guys that will sit back, let you burn up your tires, try to run out and get away from him. He'll reel you back in late in this run. 100% fuel, definitely going to make it to the halfway point of this race.
Well, I'll tell you this, Molnex has casted the line, and he's starting to reel because he's got a bite. As right now, he's about to reel in the 10 and maybe pull him into the boat here because he's got a big run down the backstretch. Although he'll look to the inside. Gordon going to try to cover. He'll back out of it here. Although Gordon sends it into turn 3, misses the apex, and now Molnex is going to get to the inside.
That was sending it a little bit too deep there. Jesse Gordon tags the wall out of 3. He's going to lose another position. Your pole sitter falling down through this field back to 4th.
Gordon fell back to 2nd, got the lead back, but it looks like he's starting to fall off on tire here. Maybe burn his stuff up a little bit too much being behind the 97. The Wunsch, man, he had a big moment off of 4 battling with Orlando. And how about John Fike? He's starting to run these guys down. That last time was the fastest car in the top 5. He's starting to reel these guys in.
Might be one of those cars that's also on the same page as Molnix.
There's
just
Molnix,
let these guys drive, yeah, and just go out
Tell you
ahead
what,
of them.
we might have an incident here because I'm looking at Orlando. Once those guys are all battling hard. Terciano is in this mix on the outside in that beige car and the Exalta back in. He's closed up. These guys are racing hard. And right now, Terciano tucked up underneath Galen Wunsch into 3, backed out of here. Got to be careful pushing in these cars. You can easily spin somebody around. And right now, Terciano to the outside of Nail. And Stewart's kind of pulled away. Orlando now starting to get a little bit of a gap, but look at Terciano using that middle lane, and this time going to get a big run down the front stretch. Will be able to clear, and then here comes Wyatt Walker to the outside. So far, the biggest mover of the race, making some time. A big moment out of the back. I think that was Dakota Floyd, or not Dakota
down
Floyd.
the front stretch.
Oh, a little more
than
contact.
one.
I don't think Wyatt Walker was going to like that. What a move to the inside. Shoots underneath with a crossover. Dakota Floyd right behind them. They hit again into turn number 2. Out for the short shoot. Looks like Nail almost caught the wall. And now Floyd gets to the inside of Nail. The 85 of Walker clears up in front. And might be a little damage on the 20s right front. And that's something you do not want to have in Indianapolis.
Looks like that 57 of Floyd's going to get a 2-for-1 after those
Oh,
moves.
it's going to get tight. He might have been able to, but it just got a little bit tight there underneath him. And now up in the top 5, Fike underneath Gordon here as they starting to get all over this racetrack. His tires starting to wear. Guys that with better tires are starting to move up through the field and make moves, which is, oh, look at that contact. Gordon and Fike, a little bit of contact. Joyner now joining into the battle. He almost gets underneath, and he is underneath the 10. Although Gordon barely going to get clear in 02, but now Joyner sends it in. And how about Mitchell Costner? He's running those guys down as well. The FedEx machine going to have a nice run, or I guess Fed Up machine, I should say, is big moment out of Fike. And now here comes Gordon shooting back down to the inside.
Fike got really loose there off the exit of turn 2, allowed the 10 car back to the inside for the top
he's gonna
5.
Whoa!
Very loose
Oh,
for the
man,
10.
Gordon is sliding all over the corners, and now here comes Joyner to the inside, and Costner waiting in the wings of these two get together. Maybe he can get the 2-for-1 special. The Joyner side drafting down the front stretch. Gordon just clears Costner, almost touches the wall. Into turn 1, here comes Joyner. Gordon looked like he had to get out of the gas there. Joyner gets loose off of 1 and now into 2 through the short chute. Joyner back underneath in that 0-0, the tide ride. Just getting loose underneath there. Just doesn't have the side force. Oh, Gordon gets loose. He gets tagged by the 0-0.
A little bit of damage there.
Oh, that's heavy damage on Joyner's car. That fender getting, I don't know if the 10 has much, but I don't know if you can tell, Bradley, but it looks like the right front fender is pushed in on the 0-0.
Yeah, it's definitely pushed in.
That's going to affect handling it's mainly going to affect aerodynamics at a track that's mainly straightaways, and now it's going to affect probably the handling of that car, especially in dirty air, and that is pretty heavy right front damage, and I think that's going to affect Joyner for the rest of this race, especially if it goes green, which with the way these guys are racing, he might get lucky and get a caution. The thing he can't hope for is that he's involved in the caution because he's back underneath Gordon as the battle for the lead is shaping up between Wilkin and Burns, and right now, Joyner back to the inside of Gordon. I think Gordon's going to let him have it here. He'll tuck in behind, and now Costner going to have a run.
On a contact to try to get around these guys. That's kind of the product later in this run. We're 20 laps in. This is probably about the midway point. These guys are going to stretch. I'd say about lap 35 to 40, you're going to see them come down pit road.
And just inside the top 10, Wunsch, Orlando, Terciano, still battling that battle from, 10th on back. Oh, look at this! Trouble! Fight into the way! Everybody's pitting!
Well, scratch that.
Wow. Well, scratch that one. Molnix stays out another lap, so does Joyner, but look at this. 10, 15 cars into pit road. Not something you see every day. As looks like Wilkin able to jump Burns into pit road.
That'll give the lead to Daniel Molnix, but let's go back here.
Caution. Wow, that was, I don't think I've ever seen that many cars come in pits to a green flag cycle, other than Talladega or Daytona.
Let's back this up a little bit. So on the V-Speed instant replay, you're going to see about 8-9 cars come down pit road together. The chaos ensues.
It does, and those guys are going to short pit everybody. Look at Wilkin able to gain a lot of time on the pit road there. Oh my gosh, Burns almost spinning out, and then Fike tapped the inside wall with the left side. Doesn't have a crazy amount of damage, I don't think, but everybody exiting pit road. Molnex in, Joyner and Floyd stay out. Richie, Stewart, McGow stay out. Molnex into pit road, Wunsch into pit road. Wishnowski and Walker all pit, which they should. Hand the lead over to Burns, who was able to pass Wilkin on the pit cycle. So a great stop from the 97 crew. 3.3 seconds better and about in pit road and out of pit road. That was the difference for Burns to get ahead. Question is now with fresher tires, Molnex, who's just getting service to his number 2 Chevrolet, or excuse me, his number 2 Dodge, gonna get passed by Burns, gonna lose another spot to Wilkin, might not lose another spot to Fike. And here comes Dakota Floyd into pit road and Ronnie Jordan. Oh, Floyd slams the inside wall. That's probably not going to be good for the 57, as that's heavy left front damage. There was a 29 of Johnson on the outside. There's Joyner coming in a pair of Walker coming by. He just wheel hops it there. And man, the pit cone is actually way further back than I thought. I think maybe used to the IndyCar pit lane, but pit cone way before I think these guys were anticipating. Top 7 still staying out here, trying to go really long here. Justin Ritchie, the leader. Kyle Stewart is second. Stephen McGow third. Frank Walsh is fourth. And now a couple more guys bringing it in here and leaving pit road. It looks like Joyner leaving pit road. I believe Costner going to get by him. Dakota Floyd leaving pit road. So now the pit cycle's really getting to start here, really beginning. Cannot cross that white line there. Oh, there's contact. Chris Nails sideways, knocked sideways on the apron. A contact with Terciano and off of turn number 1. Dakota Floyd's going to tuck out right behind him. Wyatt Walker going to get by both of them there, but great save out of Chris Nail in the 20.
So we just go back here with the 20 car for a moment.
A massive save out of the 20 years. Battling there with just Terciano there in the 11. Little contact there, and man, what a save from the 20. That looked like it was going to be 2 separate incidents there. He could have spun it on the apron, and then Ork could have got turned dead sideways at the outside wall, but good save out of him.
So Justin Ritchie, Kyle Stewart, Steve McGough, Frank Walsh, yet to pit here.
I tell you what, they might be on an alternate strategy, which would be very interesting to see. But everybody pitted about lap 20, lap 22. My guess is that they're going to try to put this into split this into thirds. So they'll pit one more time, probably lap 40, where these guys will try to pit on lap 30 and make it to the end if they can get there all the way. As looks like Jesse Gordon got into the wall, and now Molnick's going to get a free spot into turn 1.
Gordon has struggled since about lap 12. That car really fell off fast.
Yeah, I think Molnick's here with fresher tires might have a good chance, but the only issue for him is that he is 3.5 seconds back from Burns and Wilkin, who have kind of separated themselves from the field. Kyle Stewart into pit road here, the 14 coming in. Now the question is, can Ritchie or Macau, can they go all the way to lap 30 on field? And if they can split this race in half. And they might be on a strategy that could win them the race if they can, get there all the way.
So we are at lap 26 here out of 60. Your leader, Justin Ritchie, yet to pit here. Steve McGough back here in the second position. Frank Walsh and Jeremy Burns has worked his way back up to the top 5 after the exit of pit road. And kind of looked at Trenton Wilkin beating him into the pits after Burns slides into the entry just before that commitment cone. He's able to stay out front. Somehow the 97 finds himself what will be the race lead.
And Gordon's back to Molnex here. We'll see if we can make a pass. Stays tucked up behind him. Had a really good run off of 2, backs off, lets the 2 keep the position. But yeah, I'll tell you what, Wilkin, I think, might have a better long run speed than the 97 of Burns. So we'll see. Wilkin, one of those guys, I think, that when I've seen races, especially on the intermediates, where he always tends to have a great long run car and give himself a shot to win a race. And win the race has been very consistent as well. And I don't know, Bradley, do you have points?
I do have points.
Well, we may or may not have forgotten to put that, but Burns, your leader. Turchiano, how about that? Second, Joyner, and I don't think the points are resetting, right?
They will do a top 12 for the chase.
Top 12? Okay. I mean, Burns is kind of running away with it here. If we were doing
We got a
Winston
car
Cup
popping
style.
an engine down here.
Yeah, I think that's the 13's on fire.
Brent
I
Allen
think
done
he
for
is,
the
yeah.
day.
I think he'll have
Yeah.
to shut that thing down.
He had a rough time in the start of this race as well.
Yeah, he's had to shut that down, but that's good to see the points here. Jeremy, I don't know if there's a regular season championship or not, but if that's the case. I mean, Burns is locking it up here right now. He's got about a half a second lead over Wilkin, and then 3 seconds. Look at the gap down the front stretch to him, and then that red car in the background there at the top of your screen. That's John Fike, and he's 3.5 or almost 4 seconds behind Molnick's. 4 seconds behind with fresher tires, but I gotta wonder, Bradley, is the draft really helping those top two kind of pull away?
I mean, draft here is important, especially down these long straightaways. You're going to get an advantage. Now, whether or not it's advantageous overall, I don't know. I mean, you can kind of make up that time. It's kind of like an auto club, I would say, where if you're getting through these 90-degree corners a little bit better, you could make up that time, especially in the long run. But right now, it looks like Burns and Wilkin are pulling away. It's 3.6 seconds, almost 3.7 to
Yeah,
Fike.
we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if Fike or even Molnick with fresh tires can run them down. The guys that we thought maybe could try to split this race in half. Well, they came in, Ritchie, McGow, Walsh, they just came in about a lap ago, so they hand the lead over back to Burns. So we'll see if they maybe will be a factor at the end of this race. How about this inside the top 10? Turchiano, Walker, Wunsch going at it in the short shoot.
Wyatt Walker with Wunsch
Oh,
really
big
loose
moment.
off of 2. Or off of, yeah, that was off of turn 2. And trying to break that
Turchiano
draft
breaking
there.
that draft, yeah.
That's just shouts at IndyCar.
That's some Indy car. Like we saw, I mean, you were there for the finish. Pato Award, Joseph Newgarden. That was pretty wild to watch.
Yeah, watching those guys break the draft and the overtakes in these corners versus a stock car. You can kind of run side by side as we see very sideways out of turn 4.
Still
The 11.
sideways, still trying to gather it up. And 11 shaking all the way down to the inside wall, shaking the draft. And Walker now has a chance to pounce here with the 11, probably overheating his tires here. Here comes Walker, get clean air to the left front here. Should have a good chance unless Turchiano takes that line away. Well, Turchiano overdrives the entrance. Now Walker to the inside. Can he get there? Turchiano going to get a little bit loose, able to clear down the back.
I don't think he shook anything there. He'll be lucky
It's
to be
going to be
clear.
hard to shake off this 85 car. This 85 car's got speed here as Turchiano overdrives the corner a little. Once again, here comes the 85 of Walker. Might be able to get to the inside here in the short shoot, maybe into 4, although Turchiano does a great job taking that line away. Although he overshot the corner for a 3rd time, and now Walker's going to have a big run down the front stretch.
Walker's just buying his time. I don't think he's going to push the issue just yet.
He's getting some pressure from Wunsch in the 199. Oh, Walker went a little bit wide here, but a later apex. Here he comes to the
here it
inside.
goes.
Oh, it's
Contact.
contact.
Big hit there in the back of the 11 into 1.
I don't know how he didn't spin that 11 now. Great catch by both of them, but that was almost an instant.
Hit the
Oh,
wall.
it's in the wall! Turchiano hits the wall, and now Walker doesn't seem to be gaining any time down the front stretch, or down the back stretch.
This is just outside the top 10.
Oh, this
for
is
the
410th
85.
actually. Yeah, just outside. This is 410th. And I tell you what, Turchiano is struggling with rear grip, and now Walker going to be able to get to the inside. Wunsch waiting behind them if these two get together. Although Turchiano able to hold on barely. Walker to the inside, but got to tuck back in line. This is some good racing.
Yes, it is. I think the battle for the lead is starting to heat back up as well.
It is. There's going to be battling all over this racetrack as this run goes on. Now Walker finally to the inside of Terciano. Will Terciano let him go? I think he will, though. Terciano using the outside lane. Walker going to maybe be able to clear it. Oh, there's contact again! And a decent hit for Walker. A little bit of right rear damage with Terciano. Able to just get out of it there from them not getting into a wreck. And now once to the inside of Terciano, Walker gets 10th, and now Terciano way up the racetrack, once to the inside.
What's going to happen back here for the 11th position? 199 to the inside. He's going to be clear.
He's got it.
Slide up in front. Now we can go up here to the lead.
That was pretty good racing.
Yes, it was. I mean, when you guys touch fenders in this car and don't wreck.
It's almost a wreck.
Yeah. You can't afford to even put the nose on a guy's back bumper. We've seen it, especially at the plate tracks, where guys will just try to get the edge, give a bump, and spin out 7, 8, 9 cars, get wrecked.
We've got a good battle for lead, good battle for third, too. Carl Fletcher tires here. Monex to the inside of Fike. Off of 4. I think Fike's just going to let him go here, although he's going to fight back on the outside. Monex still side by side with him. Can't afford to lose too much time. Right now, he is 4 seconds behind Birds. He's going to need a lot. Caution gets him back in this race for sure, but I think those two, the top 2 have kind of checked out from the rest of the field. Oh,
side by
he's
side.
loose underneath him. Losing all that side force on the right side.
For third.
Oh, Fight got in there, drove it in there deep, lost the car a little bit. Now Monex could have a run down the backstretch here. And how about Jesse Gordon closing up on these guys?
Gordon needs a recovery. We're going to have a battle for the 3rd through 5th position. But Jesse Gordon, who started on the pole, he's shown that he has speed. But after about lap 7, that speed, that car just fell off.
He's got short run speed. I don't know if he's got as much long run speed. Oh, Fight hits the wall on the entry. I think Monex going to have the green light to just go by here with no issue.
Yeah, he's got it. Up to 3rd now.
These guys are bombing and leaving all over this track.
They are slip sliding. Watch this into 1.
Ooh, Fight driving right to the back bumper of Monex. Almost gets into him on the entry. Monex sliding around a little bit. Joyner and Stewart going at it for 7th on the racetrack. As these two battling for 3rd, and Joyner on fresher tires in the top 10, showing some speed later in this run. Is Monex able to hold on and hold off Fight? I think that damage.
0's damage, yeah. It's definitely hindering him down this straightaway. You can see, even with the draft, 24 is able to pull away.
You see Joyner gains in the corners, but once he gets on the straightaway, he's got a parachute on the front. And how about Galen Wunsch and Wyatt Walker battling for 10th? They've got a good race going on. Wunsch able to get by Walker into 3, and maybe off of 4 here. Walker trying to go back underneath them. Wunsch holds on to the position. Big moment out of Walker.
Very loose. He got down there almost to the rumble strip and set that car sideways. That's another thing you have to pay attention to, is touching those rumble strips or even getting on that white line could really upset the handling.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good in a stock car. In an Indy car, you don't want to even come close to it. But if you can touch it, get a little bit on the left front, it's almost like the paint at what was at old Atlanta. It helps you get rotation in the car. And sometimes you want to get your left sides below that white line and touch that rumble strip a little bit, kind of like a road course. Get a little extra turn in the corner. Sometimes it helps, especially when you need to kind of have more rotation, especially in dirty air. Sometimes you'll see guys get their left sides below that white line. But while we do that, and while we get through the cycle of green flag racing, we'll be right back after a quick commercial break with Jeremy Burns, your leader. Stick around. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Well, we got something to talk about here as we come back live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm going to hit the replay button. It's, well, it involves the 12 of Wilkin, the 97. They come down pit road just together here. But then you're going to see in the background, down pit lane, the 00. Ronnie Joyner gets completely sideways in front of pit road.
And here he comes, and you'll see him get really, really loose, spinning around. Amazing how there wasn't a caution. That was
27.
Yeah, 27 over Orlando Jr. just missing it. He comes right in front of Walker. And during the pit cycle, Daniel Molnex short pitted everybody, got by Trenton Wilkin, who had a catastrophic pit cycle and had a 15-second pit cycle. Now he's in the wall. But a 15-second stop and a 48-second total pit time from in to out of box. And Jeremy Burns has pulled 4 seconds on Wilkin and 4 seconds on Molnex, who has now lost that, or Wilkin who's lost that spot to Molnex, and Burns cruising right now for the win at the moment. If we go green, John Fike still on the racetrack trying to maybe overcut everybody here, but will it be enough?
I don't know if it'll be enough. I think right now the guys that pitted that early, I mean, they're on an advantage right now. When you look at Justin Ritchie, Kyle Stewart, John Fike, they pitted so late. They lost so much time. We're talking about a 10, 15 lap difference.
Oh, here comes Fike now.
That's a long time here at Indy.
Sure is. And there goes Fike in the pit road, going to make it.
I think Fike is in the best situation of all these guys that stretched it out, but Kyle Stewart going to stay out there even longer. These guys, I don't think, can make it to the end of this race.
I think it's going to be very, very tough to make it to the end. If they can, it'd be impressive, but I think they only got 12 seconds over Burns, and they're going to be in a fuel-saving mode. I think that's going to be very hard to do, especially Stewart and Ritchie. I think Ritchie, obviously, 1 lap fresher tires, the 1 lap extra tank on, or excuse me, 1 lap more of gas in that tank of fuel. So it'll be interesting to see as Fike is getting his pit stop done. We'll see what he's able to exit off with here. And can he run down Burns? He's going to be about 10, 15 seconds behind.
Yeah, that's a long way here with just 18, 19 laps to go.
And we've seen some crazy stuff happen in this series where we've had cautions come out late in the race, have a late race restart. It's possible, but especially with how much these guys have been sliding around. Here comes Kyle Stewart to pit road to that. Give Justin, oh no, Stewart's spinning! Spins into pit road, hits the inside wall, no caution, but that's going to be detrimental to the car and as well as his race. Stewart now with some damage on the front valence and as well He's going to lose a lot of time.
That might do it for the 14.
Yeah, it's going to probably cost him a chance at turning this night from really good to now really bad.
Richie's still out there on the racetrack. We have 4 cars left to pit. Trenton Wilkin.
Ooh, really? Ethan Wishnowski.
He's actually been down. So it's Justin Ritchie's the last car that's yet to hit pit road.
Yeah, he is in, and Wishnowski pitting again. That's interesting. Is on board here. There's Chris Nail. Is there? Oh, there's our driver cam.
Oh, I missed it. This is the wrong driver. How about that?
There's
There
Quentin
we go.
Stewart.
That's the wrong one as well. What am I doing here tonight?
Oh, you're killing me, bud. That's
Hey, that's him.
Quentin Stewart. There we go. I know we had as many drivers cams here tonight. There's Quentin Stewart, who's trying to pass Chris Nail here for what will be ninth eventually on the racetrack. He's in a battle what will be inside the top 10 either way. So 24 got some good pace. Ronnie Joyner hits the wall again. And Joyner with that damage is probably really hurting for speed here. And curious, who are the other drivers we got the camera with?
We've got Wisnowski, Burns, and Quentin Stewart. I hit all of them before I found the right one.
I'm curious to see how Jeremy Burns is doing. He's probably having a calm, cool, and collected experience.
I'm sure. He's sitting up here about 4.5 seconds out of the lead with Justin Ritchie, and then 4.5 ahead of Daniel Molnix.
Well, look at Molnix, about under pressure from Wilkin here in a 1. As there is on board Jeremy Burns. He's on a Sunday cruise, basically. He's got nothing to worry about other than a caution coming out, which was a good battle for second here. That might be a caution if these two Penske cars get together. They're both Penske schemes, so I guess I could say that, right? But look at this. Kurt Busch clears Ryan Newman off of 2, basically. But no, Molnix clears Wilkin here. And then slowly behind them, Jesse Gordon, the pole sitters, running these guys down. Seem to have a little more pace as we go later into this race. Lap car is going to be maybe a factor in this battle here because Bryson Witherspoon just exited pit lane.
I got to get all these jitters out of my system here. I don't know what's going on with me tonight. I can tell you what's going on with me. You got warm outside. I don't know if you've been out there.
Oh, man, it's
got nice.
It's getting nice. We're in the summertime, man. It's good. Kids are getting out of school, and the 4th of July is coming up. It's good time to go hang out with your families. Oh, my goodness, Spencer Johnson almost got into the 2 of Molnix and 12 of Wilkin. Is this battle still going to... How about Justin Ritchie still in the lead here, doing a good job here. Same field. If he gets a caution, might be somebody we take out or we have to talk about and maybe take into consideration. For the win here is Jesse Gordon getting by lap cars of Witherspoon and Johnson. And right now he's slowly but surely running the 12 and 2 down here as those two still battling here. And Fike has worked himself back up into 6th. Just got by Mitchell Costner and got by Kevin Orlando Jr., who's kind of coming alive here at the end of this race here with 13 laps to go in a race that seems to just have flown by very quick.
They've kept it clean and green here since the beginning of this race. 9 lead changes.
It's been pretty good. And Burns right now about to run Ritchie down. Question is if Ritchie can go another 13 laps, he's going to be a net gain. He's running outside top 15, so it'll be interesting to see. Although I think we will have the pass for the lead here into turn 3, as it looks like 25 is trying to save fuel here, and there goes Burns to retake the lead. Ritchie falls to 2nd, and now the battle for what is 3rd, and will probably eventually be 2nd. Wilkin and Molnix still going out. Oh, Molnix has a big moment off of 3. Oh, Molnix gets loose here off the corner. Wilkin's still trying to find a way around him. And right now, I'll tell you what, Fike is running them down with those fresh tires. Molnix throws the block on Wilkin. Wilkin goes down, swerving down the front stretch. Wilkin now underneath Molnix into 1. Molnix drives it in deep. Wilkin drives it in deep. Molnix going to pinch the 12 off of 1, and now into the short chute and into 2. Molnix utilizing the middle lane. Wilkin on the bottom, and Jesse Gordon getting a big run on both of them.
Into the wall for the 2, but it was enough to spring him out just
and
ahead of the 12.
Shaking the draft, and here comes Gordon. Gordon closing up on these 2. Might as well say Gordon, Bush, and Newman. They're all going in. Oh, Molnix gets the flop! Wilkin gets turned! Wilkin turned by Gordon, and Wilkin slams the wall! And Gordon spins the 12 of Wilkin, and now the caution comes out for the first time, and the 12 car destroyed off into turn 3. That almost was bound to happen with those two getting together, and that's tough for both Wilkin and the pole sitter Jesse Gordon. And Wilkin was getting fed up being behind Molnix, dove into the corner, moved Molnix. Gordon got a big run, and Wilkin was the big loser out of that one, getting turned, and Gordon with heavy damage. And wow.
How about Gordon actually avoided most of the wall there? He didn't touch anything after he hit the back of the 12.
No, he's got a little right rear from getting, I think, slapped by the 12. And how about Justin Ritchie in the 25 who went with the long run? And he's going to be in second now with that caution coming out. I think everybody's going to have to bring it down pit road here. Yeah, that's simple. Moved him out of the way, and then the 10 kind of got there as well, and just both of them spinning around. Oh, that was some nail-biting stuff there. That was a good battle until they all got into each other. But now, when we talk about a caution coming late into this race, short run, now Molnix is in the fight. And how about, and like I said, Justin Ritchie with that long run strategy, he's in the second, and he's got a chance there to win.
Put himself in a good situation here. He had stayed out 22 laps. He'll now be able to get 4 fresh tires being on the same stint. He has a little bit of left front damage. We want to add that to the mix as well.
These are the money stops here as well. Gordon driving through a lot. I think Gordon's going to overshoot his box by a mile.
Yes, he is.
And he's got damage to get repaired. So I think you'll see Gordon probably go to the back here. But look at that. 2-tire pit stop. Orlando, good stop. Fike takes 2. And Orlando going to win the race off of pit road. Fike off second. And then here goes Burns once. Nail Molnix loses 4 spots on pit road. Burns loses 2. Ritchie loses 4. And wow, Costner, Gordon didn't get a lot of damage fixed, falls to 9th. And Wilkin with heavy damage is up to 10th. And there's Stewart and Walker, Turchiano, Sayer, Miguel, Petrin, Joyner getting damage fixed to his double zeros, falling back to 17th, with Floyd, Johnson, Wisnowski, and Stewart staying out to get their, get the wave around here. But oh boy, 10 laps to go, and we got a bunch of different strategies after that run.
Yes, we do. And let's sort it all out here on V-Speed. You're watching the QSR Chase for the Cup live from the virtual Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to take another quick break here. We're going to dial them in for about 8 laps to go when we go back green.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Kevin Orlando and John T. Fike are going to be on the front row here for this next restart. It'll be 9 laps to go when they cross the line. We got 2 tires versus 4 tires. Jeremy Burns will be the first car with 4 tires. We talked about it a little bit there during that commercial break. What do you think is going to happen here, Alec?
I think there's going to be a lot of wheel spin on this start, and it's going to be, can guys get through the first 2 corners clean down the backstretch? I think the first lap is going to be pretty hectic. You see Burns warming up his tires, trying to get the rubber cleared off of him. Molnick's got kind of pinned behind here, behind one. She's going to have to find a way. Cannot let Burns run away here. Is Orlando and Fike on 2 tires. Here we go. Green flag. Fike did not get a good restart. Outside lane stacking. Burns, great restart on the inside.
Burns gets a big jump on Fike. He'll go up to second
3
position.
wide. 3 wide for 5th. Molnick's in the middle with Wunsch and Nail.
They back out of it. Nail is going to go off the bottom. How about the 2, Daniel Molnick's?
Molnick's could clear 1. She's going to have to tuck in line. Joyner taps the wall on the exit of 2. Down the backstretch, Kevin Orlando Jr. swerving to get away from the drafter, Jeremy Burns. Fike behind them, not too far, as Orlando keeps the lead into 3, but Burns, the best car all night, is there. And he's got 4 tires.
On board with the 97, another lap led here for the 27. Orlando probably going to have, he shakes the draft down the front stretch. Burns is
there's trouble down the front stretch. Trenton Wilkin in the wall. He's spinning into turn 1, and Quentin Stewart and Ronnie Joyner make contact, and they crash into turn 1. And Stewart head onto the outside wall. Ronnie Joyner's night goes from bad to worse, and it is absolutely destroyed on the 00.
on the
That
12
looked like a
tag
bump
the
draft
ball.
gone wrong. Yeah, that looked like a bump draft gone wrong there from the 11 of Terciano, and then, oh, that's a hard hit for both Stewart and Joyner. Then back down. Ooh. Oh, man, Walsh almost got into the back of one of those guys. Oh, very similar 2017 Kyle Larson wreck here. And, oh, I think Wilkins' night is going to be done. That is heavy right front damage. Oh, it's Johnson on the inside. Yeah, and Stewart heavy damage as well. That looked like, that was like 3 cars coming together at the same time, and then just kind of everybody ran into everybody there into one, and that is, those are guys' nights done most likely with heavy damage. That's tough there, and you can see on board just a little tap, and we see how low the noses of these cars are. It's so hard to get a bump draft there down the front stretch, and you just see him going and gets turning. But Kevin Orlando Jr. here being able to keep the lead from Burns, and now he's going to have less laps to hold him off here with this caution.
These things are a handful all the way. I mean, you get the wrong bump at the wrong time. You see how that happens to the 12, where the 11 of Terciano just barely touches him. Launches that car all the way to the inside, and then from there, it's just a domino effect.
It is, and you just see the difference here. I'm curious. I think I see Kevin Orlando here. Should we pull him in, see what he's thinking?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I can't move. I forgot about that. Would you like to do the honors for me? There we go. Kevin Orlando Jr., Alec Martinez, Bradley Cooper in the VC booth. Got a copy, buddy?
I do. How you doing?
We're doing pretty good. We're pretty interested in watching your 2-tire strategy. Seem to be a little bit better now because you're going to have less laps to hold off Burns here. How are you feeling for this what's going to be 4 or 5 lap shootout?
Even if I had 4 fresh tires, it's rough to hold off Burns. He's quick, so we're going to make the best of it. Left tires have been pretty good all night, so figured 2-tire strategy. Now's the chance to try it this late in the race, and that caution is definitely going to help us, like you said. So, you know, looking forward to at least getting a better finish than we were. Going to do my best to try to hold off Jeremy and John here. You know, hoping for at least some type of podium out of this, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe get it on top.
Well, it's looking good. Well, we wish you the best of luck here, Kevin, and maybe we'll be talking to you here for, after the race is over.
Well, we're soon to find out.
I appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Kevin Orlando Jr., he will restart on the point for what will be about 5 laps to go. Alec, 2 tires. We've seen it work out. We've seen it pay dividends as far as spots gained. 12 up here for the 27. It's looking like a good call here with less than 5 to go.
Well, it's looking good. I think from what I'm seeing here, we're going to probably get going with 4 to go here if we go 1 to green. And there is an overtime rule, right? There's a green flag racing.
Yes.
So, I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting. Orlando has a fight. He has a fight on his hands here with Burns. And I think Burns needs to find a way to get around him quick because Molnex is probably his closest competitor with the even tires. Is restarting in 5th. So he cannot afford to let Molnex maybe get behind, because if say Molnex gets up to 3rd, Orlando still has the lead and Burns trying to work him over, Molnex can pounce to get both of them. And again, you cannot count out Fike and you can't count out Wunsch, who are on the same strategy as Orlando, who, you know, they seem to be able to keep up there with the 2 tires.
Well, there's one thing I've learned. Never count out the 2 of Molnex. He'll find a way. We just saw it on Tuesday. That car was left for dead 2 laps down at the beginning of that race, and he somehow finished just outside the podium. I mean, less than 0.06 of a second across the line. We're talking about drivers that they don't stop. They don't quit. If you tell them there's still an engine and some belts in that thing, they're going to drive it.
Yes, sir, and that's going to be interesting to see what happens here, because I think we got ourselves a pretty wild fight on our hands, because I'll tell you what, Burns, he's going to have to earn this one. He's fast, but he's going to have to earn it.
Getting ready for 4 laps to go when they take the green flag. Burns is going to be on the outside. You got to be careful with that wheel spin yet again with the older tires. He said the left sides were pretty good here, but you have that factor of traction. Trying to get this thing up to speed, 900 horsepower, trying to get going.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. And now they've been on 2 heat cycles, those left side tires, so it'll be very hard to reel them in, or to get them heated, number 1, and then to get him going again. It's going to be tough. He's going to absolutely need to go. I just going to be hard to hold off Burns, but
be perfect.
He could do it. He's going to have to be perfect. He's going to have to put 16 turns together perfectly.
It's different on the side of that machine. The Starry 27, the Irwin 97. Then we've got Fike, Wunsch, Onyx, Nail, Ritchie, Ostner, Gordon, and Walker.
That's the top 10. Here we go. Going to have to be a perfect restart for Kevin Orlando Jr. Here we go into the Geico restart zone. Fike runs into the back bumper, jacks the 27 up. They spin the tires, and here we go. Green flag. Burns right next to him. Fike now with the big push. Might take him 3 into 1. And Fike might have costed Orlando a chance of getting clear. Burns gets clear into 1. Molnex to the inside of Fike.
Fike's going to lose that position there for the 3rd spot.
And Molnex can't seem to hold on, and it seemed like Fike drove underneath Orlando, and it might have costed him a chance to get going, because Burns takes the lead into 3, then Wunsch, then Orlando, then Fike, and here comes Molnex to the inside with 4 to go, coming to 3 to go.
It's so tough to pass here.
Tell you what, don't count out Galen Wunsch. He's got to run. On 2 tires, Wunsch with the run. Here he comes. Looks slow under Burns. Wunsch looking for the lead. Burns sends it into the corner. Wunsch has to get out of it. Orlando now with the run. Looses at 199. Now leaning on each other is Molnex and Fike. Fike gets muscled out of the way by Molnex. Nail now with the chance. Costner and Ritchie battling for 7th. Top 3 separated by a second. Wunsch losing some time here to Burns. Coming to 2 laps to go. Molnex clear Fike into 4th. Orlando sliding the rear end. Oh, Orlando, big moment. He's in the wall. Molnex goes to the inside. And looks like Orlando gonna fall outside the top 3, back down to 3rd. Wunsch still pressuring Burns. Molnex gets hit by Orlando. Here comes Fike to the inside.
2 laps to go
Oh,
now
there's
as they cross
trouble.
the stripe.
Gordon's in the wall. Jesse Gordon, heavy damage.
Falls back to 17th there off of turn 1.
The pole sitter struggling, a lap and a half to go for Jeremy Burns. How about Mitchell Kostner and Chris Nail battling for 6th on the racetrack? Burns needing these guys to keep it together for just one more set of corners. And here he comes off of turn 4, down the famous front stretch to cross the yard of bricks to take the white flag. Jeremy Burns, 1 lap to go, 2.5 miles for the Sharpie 97. We've got 1 more to go. Race is official. Can Galen Wunsch pull something out of the hat to get by Burns? Into 1, now through the short chute on the north side, and into 2. It's Jeremy Burns off of turn 2, setting sail for another win. Oh my, oh, there's trouble again, another car. It looks like Kyle Stewart slamming the outside wall off of 2. 14, slow down the backstretch. Stewart and McGow get by, but into turn 3, Jeremy Burns, a dominating performance. Galen Wunsch, 1 last effort into turn 4. Molnex goes to the inside for 2nd, but it won't be enough to catch the 97. And off of turn 4 and down to the front stretch to cross the yard of bricks. Jeremy Burns is going to win at Indianapolis. And what a win for Jeremy Burns. How about Galen Wunsch with 2nd place on 2 tires, and Daniel Molnex comes home 3rd. Kevin Orlando Jr. strategy gets him a top 5, and John Fike comes home as well with the top 5. And man, Bradley, what a race here from the Brickyard. That was awesome.
Burns is just, I mean, he was the fastest car. He led the most laps here today. Wunsch put up a fight, though, especially on that restart. I thought the 199 might have something for him, but as they come off of turn 4, it just looked like those 2 tires not able to hold up to what the 97 had overall.
Amazing what the 2 tires were able to do, and what a run for Jeremy Burns, and a run to the line. Burns across the line, 0.2 of a second separate him and Galen Wunsch, then Molnex another 0.3 back. And man, what a race that was. How about Justin Ritchie coming home with a 9th place, and then Aaron Steyer in the 42, a top 10. That was absolutely awesome. And this time, Jeremy Burns gonna bring it down the front stretch to do a burnout at the most famous place in all of motorsports, in all of the world, is Jeremy Burns, the winner at Indianapolis.
Those race interviews with your top 3. We're going to gather those drivers up, bring you your final results here for the QSR Chase for the Cup. Jeremy Burns, victorious here today from Indianapolis. Congratulations to him and the 97 team. We'll be back here on V-Speed right after this.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Back here live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. QSR Chase for the Cup has concluded its 60 laps, and what a fine finish here. 2 tire strategies getting some of these guys up into the top 5. But let's talk about those final results. Jeremy Burns with our 2 cautions here today. All happening within the last 10 laps, Alec.
Yeah.
Really reset the field. 12 lead changes. Kalen Wunsch is going to bring it home in second. Daniel Monex in third. Kevin Orlando, John T. Fike for that top 5. Mitchell Costner is going to bring home in 6th with Chris Nail in 7th. Then it's Wyatt Walker, Justin Ritchie. How about that? Justin Ritchie, who stayed out a very long time there. And then it goes to Aaron
Sayre. I think.
We'll go with that here in the 10th position.
And 11th was Dakota Floyd. 12th, Quentin Stewart. Stephen McGow comes home in 13th. Joseph Terciato, 14th. Mike Petrin in 15th. Then Ethan Wisnowski, Talladega winner, comes home 16th. Ronnie Joyner, disappointing night for him, in at 17th. Spencer Johnson, 18th. Jesse Gordon, 19th. Trenton Wilkin is 20th.
5 more cars out here. Kyle Stewart is going to bring it home in 21st with Bryson Witherspoon 22nd, Frank Walsh 23rd. Then it's Derek McMurtry and Brent Allen, who missed the grid, had some problems all the way from the beginning of this race. He will finish the last car 59 laps down here tonight. That takes us trackside now. We're going to catch up with your top 3. First driver on the docket, it's your 3rd place finisher, and that will be Daniel Molnix. He is with, well, let's find Molnix.
Let's get him. Is he here?
I'm not seeing him.
Oh, well, dang. All right, well, then how about we move to second, Bradley? Just get Galen.
Yeah, we'll go up to 2nd position here. Galen Wunsch in the 199. Galen, you took that strategy, 2 tires, and that ends up paying off here to get you up on the podium. But I tell you what, it was a gamble trying to hold off those guys behind you on 4 fresh ones.
I was surprised. It really, at first, I was just trying to hold position. And then after we got a few laps, I was like, I'm just as fast as these guys with 4. Maybe I should, go for it. And I think I got under him one time, and but I couldn't pull off maybe I should have waited till the last turn or something. But yeah, I was just trying to keep pace.
Well, I mean, the thing looked fast. Even with 2 tires, you were able, even just to get a move on the inside, to be able to do such a thing was, that strategy to get up there and be in a position to win this race. You ran mid-pack most of the night. You were up at the
I
top
struggled
5 briefly.
Yeah.
That was a tough race, though. I mean, this track, it's kind of like Pocono, where it's just ever changing.
It sure did. The first half, I was struggling. I was even considering pulling it in the pits. I was like, I'm slowing everyone up. And then the second half, I was even telling some of the guys, like, man, does it feel different to you? It feels great now for some reason. I guess it cooled down, and it really, and 2 tires probably wouldn't have worked the first half, but it did work the second half.
Well, I sat here and watched you guys battle it out. You held off the 27 of Kevin Orlando there on those last 4 laps. You go back and look at what Daniel Molnix had in store for you. Had this race gone green, what do you think would have been the recipe here? You guys kind of all on different strategies. What would you have changed prior to those cautions?
Steering ratio.
Steering ratio.
Yeah, the first half I had it kind of high, and the second half I changed it, and I was like, oh man, because everyone was saying, the right front, so I was like, well, I want to have a higher steering ratio, I guess, and it was a little harder to get time. I was faster with a lower steering ratio. So, but other than that, I can't believe I got second. These guys are pretty tough.
Well, that's why we come here, though. QSR and the Chase and the Xfinity Series is just competitive. It's good to see you up here on the podium, though. Galen Wunsch, you got anybody you'd like to shout out while we got you up in the booth?
I'm going to shout out Mike Petrin. He did a paint job for me. It's awesome. So I appreciate that. Petrin
199. 199. second place here tonight. Congratulations, buddy, and we look forward to seeing you on Tuesday as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we do officially have Daniel
Yeah, we
Malmix
do.
up here in the booth now, so we're gonna get him pulled up in here. Alec Martinez is talking with him now.
Yes, sir. Daniel Mullis, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, you had a good battle there at the end there with Galen Welch. Couldn't seem to get around in there. Long run, you seemed like you had a really good car, but the way the strategy kind of worked out, you got caught up there with Trenton Wilkin and Jesse Gordon, and then they got together, had a caution come out, and then kind of got stuck on the restarts there. What more did you need to maybe have something for Jeremy tonight?
I think it all came down to that first pit stop. I think we can make it about 26, 27 laps on fuel, roughly halfway. And I looked down about lap 18, and I was contemplating whether I wanted to pit on lap 20, break it into 2 pit stops. And I was like, I'll just wait and see what the leaders do. But I had caught them, and it was kind of, as soon as they hit pit road, it would have been too late for me. I would have been caught speeding or something. So I had to burn another lap, and that's where they got the gap on me. And after that, I had to come out and just put down really fast laps to try and get the time down as much as I could, hoping that their stuff fell off or something. And I was making a little bit of time, but me and Trenton, we got to racing, and unfortunately he got turned, but I think we were racing for third at the time. So I mean, I'm not just gonna pull over for you. But like I said, then we got that last caution, and I don't know how many guys took 2 tires. There was a few that got out in front of me. And I was talking to Galen during the race, and I told him, I said, the race winner is probably going to come from these first 2 rows. So, get what you can get. And luckily, he got second, I got third, and Jeremy ended up winning it.
He did. And now next week, I gotta maybe be reminded of the schedule here, but I know Bradley, could you save me on that one? Where we're racing next week?
I'm gonna bail you out. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So next week we're gonna be going to the ever so famous Darlington Motor Speedway.
I should be going. Daniel, how do you feel about going out to Darlington?
I love going out there.
It's a good track.
Yeah, I love having a safe tire and just manage pace, So.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be happy with the top 5.
Well, I think you'll be probably with somebody contended for the win next week. Well, we appreciate your time, Daniel. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out B-Speed. Y'all put on a good show every week. All these guys, QSR. The Gen 4 race here had way less cautions than the Xfinity, so we cleaned it up a lot tonight. I was expecting, less than 5, but more than 1 caution tonight. And yeah, that's really about it.
For sure. Well, we appreciate you.
Shout out to you, Daniel, on the 6/1000ths there Tuesday night as well. Just out of nowhere.
Yeah. That was, man. Still reeling on that one. Still reeling on it.
And well, we appreciate your time, Daniel. Again, congratulations on third, man, and hopefully we'll be talking to you next week at Darlington.
All right, thank you guys. See
Have
you
a
next
good one,
week.
brother.
And finally, that brings us to our race winner. Gonna be the 97 of Jeremy Burns. And Alec, you instantly make that transition to victory lane as well.
Thank goodness it's virtual, because I tell you what, my big butt could not make it there and run there all the way. But I tell you what, Jeremy Burns, man, dominating performance, lead 30 laps, start second, kind of took control of the race early, and then kind of had to work for it there at the end. But how does it feel getting another win on the season?
Felt pretty good, right? His second win of the season, and the first one was at Sonoma, so it just felt really good. I felt like we executed the entire race. Almost lost still in the first pit stop, so it could have ended really badly really early, but like I said, just was executing. I felt like we were really strong coming off of pit road. Me and Wilkins were there after that first stop, and I was able to drive away, and I think that gap is what really helped me. And then at the end, you had the guys split up on strategy, whether you went with 2 or 4, and luckily I was on the outside of Kevin there and was able to get around him going into 1. So just really good overall team victory for that 97, and we'll take that into next week and have some fun with it.
Yeah, speaking of next week, you got momentum with another win. How do you feel about going out to the Lady in Black at Darlington Raceway? How do you feel about maybe trying to go 2 in a row there?
I love Darlington, and there's some special history with the '97 at Darlington, and
Yes, sir, there is.
I know that I'm gonna be trying to look for a paint scheme that resembles that because I know how iconic that finish was, and
Yes, sir.
I think good old Ronnie Joyner has a Tide car.
I was
So,
about to say, if you guys end up in a photo finish, it'd be absolute cinema for you too.
yeah, we might have to submit that one to iRacing, but yeah, looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. I love these high horsepower cars at a very technical track like that, so really looking forward to it. I think that it's gonna be a lot of fun through 1 and 2, and more technical in 3 and 4, but. Like I said, I know that we're going to unload fast. We're going to practice a little bit, get the brake bias all set up, and go in next week ready.
Absolutely, man. Well, we appreciate your time, Jeremy. Is there anybody want to give a shout out to for the win?
Yeah, my mom and dad, of course, my girlfriend Josie, Dylan, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, for their continued support, Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, the supporters of the league, V Speed. You guys put on an amazing show, so really big shout out to you guys and the rest of the admins and the other drivers that were able to make this possible. I had a pretty decent sized field tonight, and they really had 2 cautions. So really good job by everybody tonight, and yeah, looking forward to next week.
Yes, sir. Well, hey, well, we appreciate your time, Jeremy. Again, congratulations on the win. Go celebrate, and we'll hopefully be talking to you again next week from Darlington.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good one.
I think that PDF file gets a little bit bigger each week for Jeremy Burns, that list of people that he names off.
I know. I
Just-
tell you what, hey, I'm glad he mentions a lot of people. That's always good to see the shout outs.
It is excellent, yes, and a lot of supporters out there. We thank you guys for coming in here and watching the broadcast as well. And if you're not subscribed, it's as simple as clicking a button here. And V-Speed, we bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Brandon Baker, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, Christian Hill, Logan Threlkeld, the producers here at V-Speed. My co-commentator up in the booth with me tonight, Alec Martinez, filling in for Jake Reeves. It was a great one here for race number 10 of QSR Simulations. For everybody else, this is Brantley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your week. We will see you Saturday night. SNR going to be live. They're coming into their final 4 races of the season. Until then, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.